Kamadrishti means the seventh house, and you all need to know that the seventh house is the reason for your birth, or shall we say, is the house for rebirth. Hence, when we look at the Punya chart or the chart when a person dies, the seventh house becomes extremely important.
Hello, Jyotisha lovers. In this video, we are going to understand the concept of Graha Drishti, the importance of how planets interact with each other, and more importantly, how the karmas flow within each other. Does Ketu have a Drishti? We are going to understand. Does Rahu have a Drishti? And if yes, does it have a straight Drishti or does it have a retrograde Drishti? These are few of the questions we are going to address with example charts. So sit back, enjoy, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. Click on the bell icon to ensure that whenever we upload the video or we put up any announcement, you are the first ones to know and you just don't miss out on the free sessions that we are giving up. If you are somebody who wants to learn advanced Jyotish and wants to get into any of the advanced astrology courses that we are conducting, please message us on the WhatsApp number and the email ID of the help desk. There are some courses which are coming up and you can surely be considered. So enjoy. Thank you so much for your time and all the questions in the comment section after going through all the videos. Thank you.
So, welcome to the second session of Graha Drishti, and what we are going to do today is technically get through the details in terms of how the padas of the Drishtis work. Does every planet have an equal aspect in the seventh house from itself? Most of the astrologers that you talk to who haven't actually gone through Parashara or Jaimini or don't have strong basics will technically tell you that all the planets have drishti on the seventh house, and almost a similar drishti on the seventh house. But that's where the traditional knowledge, or that's where the knowledge of the rishis is different. There is a logical understanding of not every planet has a similar type of drishti in the seventh house, and that is what we are going to do today. Last week what we understood is that the kama drishti, or all the planets have kama drishti. Okay, Kamadrishti means the seventh house, and you all need to know that the seventh house is the reason for your birth, or shall we say, is the house for rebirth. Hence, when we look at the Punya chart or the chart when a person dies, the seventh house becomes extremely important. We technically don't want a planet in the seventh house in the Punya chart. That is the chart when somebody dies, so that's the last chart. That's why they say antim yatra. So depending on the chart, you are going to have that last journey, so to say, as a result of which you can come to know whether the person is going to get moksha, it is not getting a moksha, at times hovering around for few years, or getting a rebirth, and getting a rebirth in which yoni, to that level also you can accurately talk about. Yeah, so seventh house is very important, and hence the whole concept of all the planet is to entice you to actually create karmas which will cause you rebirth. And then we need to understand, if every planet is looking at the seventh house, how can we call Ketu moksha karaka? Because if it is a moksha karaka, and if it is also part of the creation of the huge karmas, then how is it a moksha karaka? See, that's where the knowledge of Parashara is so accurate. That's where Maharishi, Jaimini, Parashara, all the classics for that matter, have the same opinion that Ketu will not have a seventh house aspect, at least in terms of the Graha Drishtis, is what we are talking about. Why? Because it is a Naisargika Moksha Karaka. We have done the Karakas before. All the videos are there. You can also look at it in the YouTube channel as well. A lot of content is being uploaded there as well, and a lot of it in the groups as well. So what I mean to say is this seventh house and this Kama Drishti, has got a lot to say about planets. And to that extent, every planet, including Jupiter, has an ability to cause rebirth. So our saving grace in the whole chart, as far as our spirituality and moksha is concerned, is only Ketu. And that's why it is called as Moksha Karaka. Okay, so in this particular session, we are going to understand how the Drishtipadas work and which planet has how much Drishti on the 7th house and the other houses. Okay, let's go. Now, when we talk about the Drishtipada, we need to understand that the exterior planets. In last session, we talked about the exterior planets and the special aspects that the exterior planet had. You remember? Based on the Jnana Drishti, based on the Upachayas, and on the base of Raksha Drishti of Mangal. You remember the 4th and 8th house, the 5th and 9th house, and the Karma and Kama, the 3rd house and the 10th house. That is what we were talking about. Now, why do these planets have a preference? Is because they are further away, or shall we say, they have a top eye view. So it's like a bird's eye view or an eagle's view. So all these three planets being above the surface or above the sun, they have a special sort of a drishtipada or an eagle's eye, as a result of which they are able to see, they are able to influence a little more than Surya and the planets which are below Surya. Okay, now what were those special drishtis? The first one was Upachaya, which is Saturn's drishti, right? The Kama, which is 3rd house, and Karma, which is the 10th house. Hence, from wherever Saturn is placed, we saw that the 3rd and the 10th house have special influence of Saturn. Okay, then comes Jupiter's aspect. Jupiter is a knowledgeable planet, right? It is the consultant, it is the rishi, it is the guru in the chart. So all Jupiter is involved, or all Jupiter is interested in, is in the 5th and the 9th house, right? Which is all about your jnana, all about your schooling, all about your bhagya. And it, as a guru, always wants to bless you for a good future. It always wants to bless you in terms of good karmas. So that jnana drishti, or that, jnana means also enlightenment, of your past, of your future, of your present. Hence, from wherever Jupiter is going to be placed, the 5th and the 9th house has special blessings of Jupiter. Okay, last but not the least is the special drishtis of Chaturashara or a Raksha drishti, which is of Mars, which is the 4th and 8th house. We talked about this before. 4th house is all about, how to protect, and the 8th house is how long to protect, right? We talked about it in detail, and I would suggest you go back to the groups and do listen to the video again if you don't recollect it, right? Now, what we need to understand is all other planets have 1/4, half, 3/4 drishti on these houses beyond the Purna drishti, which is the 7th house. I'll teach you what we mean about it, with a proper diagrammatic presentation in the next slide. But what I mean to say is all the other planets, which means that the sun, Venus, Mercury, and the moon, doesn't mean that they don't have this drishti on the 3rd and 10th house and 5th and 9th house or 4th and 8th house. They all have this drishti, but not 100%. And we'll talk about it. Okay, now, so what is the difference between this two sort of groups, so to say? One group which is a little privileged group, I would say, in terms of the hierarchy, right? The Jupiter, Saturn, and the Mars, because they are above the surface. They have a bird's eye view. And all the other 4 planets, if you calmly look at the concept of Karakas, are all the Kendra Karaka planets. Surya is the Karaka for Lagna in this diagram, if you see. Lagna Karaka is Surya. The 4th house Karaka is Chandra. 7th house Karaka is Shukra. The 10th house Karaka is Mercury. So if you see these interior planets, they all have an ability to give you rebirth, so to say, or they all have an ability to see the 7th house, or shall we say, they all have the maximum Kama Drishti, because they are the interior planets. They are very much involved in your internal matters of life. So they have a huge stake as far as the 7th house is concerned, or they have a huge stake in terms of what is happening on the opposite side, right? Whereas all the exterior planets or the exterior Karakas are Jupiter, Mars, and Saturn. You see all the other houses except for the interiors. So this is a very, very basic point where you need to understand the interiors and the exteriors. Okay, so very important. Now, when we talk about the Padadrishtis, here we talked about 1/4 and all. When you talk about 1/4, which technically means 25% aspect, then technically the planet has got no say in that particular house. It is like a peripheral vision, except for only Saturn has got a great impact even from the side view, right? Third house, if you understand Saturn is in Lagna, and if you consider the whole horoscope as a vision area, third house is almost like a side vision, right? The third and 11th house to that extent become the side visions. So Saturn has this side vision, tirchi nazar, they say. Hence Saturn's third house aspect is very deadly. You don't want a tirchi nazar of Saturn. Okay, so one pada drishti other than Saturn is highly inconsequential, as far as 25% aspect is concerned. When it is two pada drishti, which means that there is a little bit of will, ichha shakti is there, right? 50%. It's like you can see, okay, let me do, God willing, sort of a thing. But when it is 75%, then there is an intent, as well as you end up doing it. There is ichha and kriya. Kriya means to do. You remember the car driving example we talked about last week. So that is very important. Whereas when there is purna drishti or 100%, then it is very powerful. Not only does the planet have the will, not only does he have the urge to do, or the kriya, but there is also jnana, which means it also knows how to do. Now that is a big difference. When a planet is having that 100% aspect on a house, then technically it has got a solution to that house also. Or if it is a problematic planet, then it has a knowledge of how to destroy the house also. It works both ways. You understand? So we'll now understand a little more about it.
Namaste Jyotisha lovers, I hope you loved the video, and if you have any questions, please write down on the comment section. If you are somebody who is new to the concept and wants to learn advanced Jyotish, you might enroll for a lot of our courses which are coming up. Simultaneously, apart from subscribing to the channel, you can also share the videos on your Facebook and other social media platforms, because you don't know if there might be somebody else who is actually looking forward to the knowledge, and you might be the one who can end up helping that particular soul reach the right objective. So take care of yourself and keep learning Jyotish. And as I always say, knowledge is an ocean. Start swimming.